The story opens in a Siberian prison where people from many different countries are held captive. Escaping from here is nearly impossible. The prison is surrounded by thousands of kilometers of snow and dense forests. After World War II, the Soviets captured thousands and forced them to work day and night in the coal mines. The prison itself had little security, yet no one dared to run. Beyond its walls stretched an endless sea of snow, frozen wasteland thousands of kilometers from the nearest human settlement. Even if someone tried, the brutal Siberian cold would seal their fate. In this land of ice and silence, no prisoner could even dream of freedom. Among these prisoners is a Polish army officer named Janusz. Falsely accused of several crimes, Janusz is forced to sign a confession, but he refuses. Frustrated, the interrogating officer brings in Janusz's wife. Tears streaming down her face, she tells them that Janusz is her husband, that he despises the Communist Party, and that he spies for Poland and other countries. Janusz is stunned, but as he looks at her, he realizes the truth. They have tortured her into giving a false statement. On the strength of that lie, Janusz is sentenced to 20 years in prison for espionage and sent to the Gulag labor camp here in Siberia. We then see the prison commander telling the prisoners that their prison is not just this camp, but the entire Siberia is their prison. Even if somehow they manage to escape from here, the local people outside will capture them because they will get a lot of money as a reward for catching an escaped prisoner. Next, we see all the prisoners standing in line for food. At this moment, Janusz sees an old prisoner who is hungry. Janusz gives his food to the old man. Seeing this, a man named Mr. Smith tells Janusz that there is no humanity here. If you give food to others, they will also cut your daily food in half. Then, Janusz meets a prisoner named Khabarov, who was an actor. Khabarov tells Janusz that he played the role of a rich man in a film, which is why they sentenced him to 10 years in prison. Janusz asks Khabarov if there is any way to escape from here. Khabarov says no and tells him not to think about escaping or he will be killed. The next day, all the prisoners go to the forest to cut wood. During this time, Janusz is looking for a place from where he can escape. In the evening, we see Khabarov telling Janusz that he has a plan to escape. He was waiting for a brave and fearless companion like Janusz to escape. Khabarov tells Janusz his plan, saying that about 500 kilometers from here, there is Baikal Lake. If we go south along its shore, we will reach the Trans-Siberian Railway, and as soon as we cross it, we can reach the Mongolian border. But first, let the winter season end, and then we will escape from here. Additionally, we need to gather as much food as possible for the journey. They start collecting food little by little every day. One day, Janusz, Mr. Smith, and several other prisoners go to work in a coal mine where survival was extremely difficult. During this time, Janusz starts hallucinating and sees his home. Seeing this, Janusz starts moving towards his home. At that moment, a guard was about to shoot him, but fortunately, Mr. Smith grabs him, saving his life. Here, Janusz tells Mr. Smith about Khabarov's escape plan. Hearing this, Mr. Smith says that Khabarov has no escape plan. He lied to you. Khabarov talks to new prisoners like this. If you want to escape from here, I am with you, Janusz asks. Why do you want to escape with me? Hearing this, Mr. Smith says, you are a good person. You have humanity which can be useful to me. If something happens to me on the way, you will surely help me. One night, a snowstorm was blowing at a very high speed. Seeing this, Janusz tells Khabarov, tonight is the right time to escape from here because the snowstorm will erase our footprints, making it difficult for the guards to find us. But Khabarov says that tonight is not the right time. We have neither collected enough food nor made any other preparations. A Russian criminal prisoner named Valka, who was there, also hears their conversation. Hearing this, Valka threatens Janusz, saying that he also wants to escape with them. Janusz agrees. That night, Janusz, Mr. Smith, Valka, and 7 others prepare to escape. Khabarov refuses to go, saying that the preparations are not complete. To escape, they first turn off the generator, which would only be off for 10 minutes. Then they cut the wire and start running towards the forest. When the guards find out that some prisoners have escaped, they also go into the forest to search for them. But due to the heavy snowstorm, the prisoners' footprints had already been erased, making it difficult for the guards to determine which direction the prisoners had gone. Seeing this, the guards released dogs into the forest. On the other hand, the snowstorm was also making it difficult for the prisoners to move forward. But with the help of Valka's knife, they peel the bark of a tree and make full face masks. And then they start moving forward. By the time morning arrives, they had come very far from the camp where there was no chance of the guards coming. Now they sit in one place and gather all the food they had brought, which was enough for a few weeks. After resting for a while, they start their journey again. They had to reach the Mongolian border via Baikal Lake in the south, which would still take them many days. Janusz, using the sun's help, shows everyone the way. They continue their journey forward, and when night falls, they rest in a forest. To light a fire, they all go to search for wood. One of them, a boy named Kazakh, could not see at night, a fact known only to one of his friends. Kazakh gets lost while searching for wood in the forest. When everyone returns with the wood, they don't see Kazakh, so they all start looking for him, but they can't find him anywhere. In the morning, they see that Kazakh was sitting nearby, but unfortunately he had frozen to death due to extreme cold. Seeing this, everyone is sad. Janusz says, "Today, a free man has died." They bid Kazakh a final farewell and bury his body, then continue their journey. We see that many days have passed on their journey, and by this time, they had run out of food. To satisfy their hunger, they eat insects and bird eggs. Actually, they should have reached Baikal Lake a week ago, but due to losing their way, they were still far from Baikal Lake. One night, while sleeping, they hear the sounds of animals. They go closer to investigate and see that wolves are eating their prey. Seeing this, they drive the wolves away and eat the remaining meat, giving them some relief. The next morning, Janusz tells everyone that he is going alone to find Baikal Lake. If he doesn't return in a week, they should assume he is dead. Then Janusz goes alone to find Baikal Lake. After many difficulties and hardships, he finally sees Baikal Lake on the third day. Janusz returns and tells everyone that Baikal Lake is a day's journey from here. By this time, Janusz's condition had worsened, so they take care of him. The next day, they start heading towards Baikal Lake. During this time, they see a girl following them. The girl tells them that she is escaping from the Russians and has been hungry for many days. She asks them to take her along. Janusz and Voss want to help the girl, but the others don't want to take her because they also don't have enough food. So they leave her behind and move forward. When they reach the shore of Baikal Lake, they see a deer stuck in a marsh. They hunt the deer and use it for food, which provides them with food for a few days. In the evening, Voss brings the girl along. They give her food and include her in their group. Her name is Irina. The next day, after bathing and washing, they continue their journey. During the journey, Irina bonds with them. After a few more days of walking, they reach the place with the Trans-Siberian Railway, from where it would take about 5 to 6 days to reach the Mongolian border. Since there were people and police during the day, they decide to cross the Trans-Siberian Railway at night. In the evening, they start heading towards the Mongolian border. But here, Valka tells Janusz that he cannot go any further with them, and will stay here since he was Russian. Hearing this, Janusz says goodbye to Valka and they continue ahead. When they reach the Mongolian border, they see Stalin's photo at the gate, which lets them know that Mongolia is now under communist control. Seeing this, they are disappointed because they had risked their lives to reach here, but now Mongolia was not safe for them either. Here, Janusz says, "Let's go to India via Tibet, as India is currently under British rule where we might be safe. But for that, they would have to cross the Himalayas." Still, they decide to cross the Himalayas for their freedom and move forward, which was still thousands of kilometers away. During this journey, they also had to cross the vast Gobi Desert. They were moving forward without losing courage. They would eat whatever they found in the desert to satisfy their hunger and wet their clothes with a little water to suck on to quench their thirst. They would use their clothes to shield themselves from the sun. But all this was not enough. As they continued, their condition worsened, and they ran out of water. Meanwhile, Mr. Smith sees something like trees far away to the east, making him think there might be water there. Janusz says that it's an illusion, and that they should head south. But Mr. Smith doesn't listen to Janusz and starts moving towards the place where he saw trees. Fortunately, there was indeed a well with water there. Seeing this, they are very happy and drink plenty of water from the well. Since there was water, they wanted to stay there for a few days. However, Janusz reminds everyone that although there is water, there is no food. Without food, they would become weak and might not be able to walk. So they all decide to move forward. The next day, they carry as much water as possible and continue their journey. Their journey was becoming more difficult day by day. Meanwhile, a large sandstorm hits the desert. Fortunately, somehow they manage to survive the storm, but most of their water spills and is wasted. Still, they continue to move forward. Meanwhile, Irina collapses while walking. Her feet were badly swollen, but she continues to move forward so that she does not cause any trouble for others. However, after walking a little further, Irina collapses again, and unfortunately she passes away. They pay their respects to Irina and continue their journey. After a few days of travel, another one of their companions named Tomasz also passes away. Now only 4 of them were left. As days passed, they became extremely weak, and their spirits were also breaking down. Now Mr. Smith had almost given up. He tells Janusz, "I can't go any further." Hearing this, Janusz mentions the name of his son, who was killed by the Russians a few years ago, to boost his morale. After that, Mr. Smith gets motivated, and they all continue their journey. After a few days of travel, they manage to cross the desert and reach a place with water where they even catch and eat a snake. After walking for a few more hours, they reach the Great Wall of China. But they can't enter China because there was a war going on between China and Japan. Then they start climbing the snow-covered Himalayas towards Tibet. During this journey, they reach a monastery where they are warmly welcomed, and arrangements for food and shelter are made for them. Here, a monk tells them that to go to India, they have to go via Sikkim, but they cannot go now because a snowstorm might hit the route. However, Janusz wants to leave immediately. Mr. Smith tells Janusz that he will go to Lhasa from here and then to China because there is a U.S. military operation going on in China. He plans to take their help to return to America. The next day, we see Janusz and the remaining two continue their journey through the Himalayas. In some time, they successfully reach Sikkim, where the villagers help them. It is then revealed that Janusz could not return to his home in Poland for 50 years because Poland was still under communist control. Only after Poland became free in 1989 does Janusz reach his home, where the same scene he used to see in his hallucinations is before his eyes. This time he successfully retrieves the key from under the stone near the door and opens the door. Inside the house, Janusz's wife is there, who has now grown old. Seeing each other, they become emotional and embrace. And with this, the film ends. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.